Hey, what's good, people? I just tried to make this video and the devil don't want me to share this word. So, basically, this word is how great our God is. In that, it is written in Genesis that he created the whole earth in 6 days. But what we need to understand is that when he created all these things, he didn't just create the start and then keep things ticking along, what will be, will be. But he planned all of creation from the dawn of time. And this is an excerpt from the second book of Enoch, which is when he was taken up to heaven. I'm just going to get into it. We're going from chapter 8 to chapter 10. And these men took me. And those men, this is talking about angels here. Because it's such a old scripture. Well, I'll just read it as it is. And those men took me from there and led me up onto the third heaven and placed me here. I looked down and saw what this place produces, and that it was so good that such as has never been known. And I saw the sweet flowering trees, and I saw their fruits, which were sweet smelling, and I saw all the food that came from them, and that the food was bubbling with fragrant vapours. And in the middle of the trees was the tree of life, in that place where Yahuwah tests where the Lord rests when he goes up into paradise. And this tree is of indescribable goodness and fragrance, and adorned more than anything existing. And all sides of its form were golden and brilliant red and fire-like, and it was completely covered, and it produced all fruits. Its root is in the garden at the earth's end, and paradise resides between spiritual and physical. And 2 springs come out which send forth honey and milk. And their springs send forth oil and wine, and they separate into 4 parts and flow quietly around and go down into the paradise of Eden, between the immutable and the eternal. And there they go forth along the earth and have a circular flow, even as other elements. And there is no unfruitful tree here, and every place is blessed. 300 angels, which are very bright, are there to keep the garden, and with incessant sweet singing with voices, which are never silent, serve Yahuwah throughout all the hours of days. And I said, how very sweet is this place. And those men said to me, this place, O Enoch, is prepared for the righteous, who endure all manner of offence, from those that exasperate their souls, who avert their eyes from iniquity, and make righteous judgment, and give bread to the hungering, and cover the naked with clothing, and raise up the fallen, and help injured orphans, and who walk without fault before the face of Yahuwah, of the Lord. I'll just read it as it's before me. And serve him alone, and for them is prepared this place for eternal inheritance. So I'm just going to take a break there. So this is talking about spiritual warfare in the last days. And, if those who do what is right, the place prepared for us is so amazing. It's where the Messiah, where Jesus rested. And obviously this text is written before Genesis. It's set in the days of Noah. So obviously it's not right before Genesis. But the book of Enoch, the first one, talks about the fallen man. And the second book of Enoch talks about in his 365th year alive, he's raised up into heaven. 2 angels come with him to show him everything in heaven, so that he can instruct his sons. And his son Methuselah went on to be Noah's father. So chapter 9 and chapter 8, beautiful, beautiful. But this also comes with a warning, because as I say, the Lord knows our hearts. He knows what's going to happen. And that's why I want to warn away everyone who does not know their God, who does not know their Father. Because this is chapter 10 of the second book of Enoch. And those 2 men led me up onto the northern side and showed me there a very terrible place. This is still the same. He ascends up the heavens, and this is the third heaven, if you didn't catch that in chapter 8. And those 2 men led me up onto the northern side and showed me there a very terrible place. And there were every kind of tortures in that place, cruel darkness and gloom. And there was absolutely no light at all there, but murky fire constantly flaming above. And there's a fiery river coming out, and everywhere in that place is fire, and everywhere there's frost and ice, thirst and shivering, while the physical restraints are very cruel, and the spirits were fearsome and merciless, bearing angry weapons, torturing without mercy. And I said, whoa, whoa, this place is so terrible. And those men said to me, this place, O Enoch, is prepared for those who dishonour God, who on earth practice sin against nature, which is sodomy of a child, corruption of children, performing magic, enchantments, and devilish witchcrafts, and who boast of their wicked deeds, stealing, lying, slander, envy, resentment, fornication, murder, and who are accursed and steal the souls of men, and those who see the poor and still take away their goods so they grow rich, and injure them for other men's goods. And this is reserved for those who, to satisfy their own emptiness, made the hungering die, those who clothe themselves by stripping the naked, and who did not know their Creator, but instead bowed to lifeless gods who have no soul, who cannot see nor hear, who are empty, who built carved images, and bow down to unclean fashioning of useless gods. This place is prepared for these as an eternal inheritance. So, if that's you, if you're proud to be living in sin, like Jesus paid the price for all of us, you don't have to experience this. No matter, like there's a lot of that which I have personal experience with happening to me, so I don't even want to say this, but no matter what you have done, Jesus paid the price for it. And, you know, if you're living, you got purpose. So, turn to Jesus, turn to the Father in heaven, because the books of Enoch prophesied Jesus. Like, if you get my version, which is by Joseph B. Lumpkin, it'll explain how, even though the books of Enoch are in the Bible, they influenced the people who wrote the Bible. The people who wrote the Bible read the books of Enoch. So even though it's not technically scripture and it was removed, it talks a lot about the last days, it talks a lot about the first days. And you keep in mind the scriptures say the first days will be like the last, or the last days will be like the first. So come to Jesus, man. Come to Christ. Get saved, because you've just heard that, right? You've just heard the place prepared for those who do not know their God. He's not some fictional being. Why do you think people go to church? Why do you think everyone's just in some mass hypnosis? A lot of people are, but not in the church, man. Not in the church. The people in the mass hypnosis are the people who believe that. I ain't going to go into that. I ain't going into that. But the people who watch the news too much, that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Peace.